I know a lot of people just wonder, like, what is really going on here? I don't understand, like, with all of the lies and religion, and how can there be this group that has controlled us? Like, how does any of this stuff make sense? And so I just want to say, so for what I understand, how I see it, is, when humans started being here, for one thing, we were just animals. And they messed with our DNA to, because they were creating slaves, because they were mining gold, and they needed to have workers, because they didn't have the same kind of I don't even know if they had the same kind of three-dimensional body that they could hold. I'm not really sure, but there was something about their physicality that prevented them to do their own work, so they needed slaves. So they and they were highly advanced technology, and so they doctored our DNA and kept messing with it to create these slaves. And but when the souls were here, like there was a lot of different influences from all different race, different planetary beings. They were all coming, and something about, like, during Atlantis, and there was so much, back where they talk about, like, the pyramids and stuff, like, those were really all built by alien technology. It's just so crazy. It's just so crazy when you have to have that argument with people. Like, so they, the aliens were very involved with our lives way back, a long time ago. And they were trying to help us to develop ourselves. They gave us a lot of different techniques and understandings and stuff to help us develop ourselves. Well, there became a point when they all had to just, back off. We had to go in and prove ourselves that we could, grow, that we could, adapt and become more conscious. And, like, there was more things we had to do, just like if we were trying to train the dogs to have more conscious awareness. I mean, we try and train them to do things. We enslave them because these little creatures are sweet to us, so we just enslave them. People abuse them, all sorts of stuff. But, imagine if we were just so focused on trying to train them, and we were messing with their DNA so we could have more communication and have them have more understanding and stuff like that. So then there had to be a point, like, well, did it work? And so that's why we've been an experiment the whole time, and we've been being watched like a zoo. Like I said, when I was a little kid, they were telling me this stuff. And besides, I think there's a lot of people who feel like somebody's watching them. You feel a presence, you feel like you're being watched. That is because you are. And so they watch us from above. And but see, that's the thing, is, like, people just think on such a three-dimensional level. They just can't imagine what really is, the heavens, what really is where our spirits, and how does it work and stuff like that. But a spirit is the soul part of you. It is not attached to human beings. A human being is just like an avatar, and Earth is just an experience, like a university, like a school. Like, a soul can go to this and go through the experiences. Well, from the beginning of time, as humans were having to prove themselves, there was lots and lots of experiences, and there was also still interference by people called draconian. I've seen stuff about reptilian where I think the reptilians, they don't just have, the draconians are a lot more of want to conquer. I don't know that all the reptilians are like that. It seems like that especially a long time ago, they were always trying to give us perspective on life, and their perspective is different because they're cold-blooded creatures. They're different in what they're understanding about life. So it is significant stuff to share. So, but a soul could go in, like you could have lived a bunch of lives as a reptilian, and then you're here as a human. And in this life, you are here to spread like their knowledge, and they're talking to you and stuff. So that's where you get all these people who are star seeds and light workers and stuff. They've come from other planetary systems to be born here right now because they're bringing these different information from their it's like their philosophies of how they have how they live their lives. And so they're sharing that with us through different people coming and being born right now. So you have a lot of people who are born just to bring knowledge, like what I talked about with the tree of life, like souls that incarnated a long time ago. Like I say, that I know that I did. I knew since I was a child that I was tied to Atlantis. So if you think about, and I could have been, all of us reincarnating way before then. And you could have been reincarnating on other planets during that. So it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm an older soul than you. I know about this. But there's some sort of a completion that's going on right now. So a lot of souls that were during those times are here to kind of fix things and to complete things. And, we've got ancestry, energy and spirits all around us that are trying to fix things and move humans forward. And so throughout life on Earth, there's been so much different experiences going on, and it has something to do with this cosmic, anybody who thinks astrology is just like a weird coincidence, like you need to study it a little more and learn a little more about it. But so the cosmic cycles have to do with the different ages, and the age that we are leaving was 26,000 year age. It's every 26,000 years that the whole zodiac completes the entire possible cycle, that and it goes back to the beginning. And then when it goes back to the beginning, that is what starts the new age. A new age is a completely different experience than the other experiences. And the age of Leo, I've heard of people talk about that one, and that was like during Caesar and stuff. It was like a lot of fighting and stuff. So there was different experiences for souls to come in and play these different roles in, just like a play, like I keep talking about. We're in a play right now. Your soul is just in a play. And so it has come in and out of lives all over, everywhere, to have different experiences and to grow. There's a whole tons and tons of souls here right now who are coming just because of the change of the age, because it is it's called a harvest in the Book of One. And and there is, like, if you want to learn more about, like, the Book of One is the teachings of Ra that you can look up about it. I've talked about it a lot of times. You have Seth. There's a woman back in the 60s. She was channeling someone called Seth. It has a whole bunch of information. Like there's just lots of information. If you go out and you look up Edgar Casey, he talked a lot about stuff. Nostradamus. But there's a whole bunch of different people who have talked about some of the information that, that I believe is true. And so, about time and space and all this, like people argue about like this flat planet, round planet thing. Who knows if it's even a planet at all? I mean, this is just a creation. This is like a video game. So on a video game, are we going to, talk about like, well, is that building flat or is that real, it's like, it just is. It's just there, just like the earth plane. It's just there. It can be flat if you want it to be flat. And it can, the whole thing with the dome, like I've heard, like they've had to keep us trapped behind this dome and the earth is flat and everything is outside of it and stuff like that. But the earth is moving its axis. That's why we have the changing in the weather patterns. It has nothing to do with climate change and stuff. All you can do is look at the old maps from a long time ago. And no, Antarctica used to be a tropical place. So it's not because cows fart and stuff that this stuff happens. It is that, we're on a living being that is moving. And so going through these different life experiences on Earth is what a soul does. It's reincarnation. It's coming in and expanding its consciousness by experience, and comes in and you can see once you start understanding about perspective and stuff, you start seeing how everything just has to do with perspective. Like you could say, oh, I would never kill. Killing is the worst thing. Like I am constantly saying, murder's bad. Don't murder. But there's always a reason why someone would. Someone can, so are they just a bad person? I mean, we can all be pushed into something, and we have to go through these different experiences to understand, why, what is it, what changed, how is murder bad until you have to murder, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a big difference in murdering to save your own life and just planning a sneaky, creepy murder and sneaking in and killing people. Like, you know what I mean? When you're saving yourself or your family, that's a big difference. And so, how can we just like I was, when we just can't we can't lump everything together, we have to be open to understand different people's stories and understand their, what they've gone through, and also to not judge. It's not our business. But there's so many souls right now who are here for this big change to go into the age of Aquarius, and it's referred to as the golden age, heaven on earth. It is where humans get to be abundant and get to live free and be, live as natural beings along with nature on this planet, and that's going to be for 26,000 years. I don't even know what the next stage is, but anyways, this one is just for new experiences. So, as a soul, it's like a new vacation place, a new place to go and experience. And it's going to be, heaven on earth. It's going to be like a place where a lot of souls are going to want to go. It's going to be a place where you can just, like a soul vacation spot almost, compared to what we've been going through. Like the stuff I've gone through my whole life, like you'll still have things you have to learn and understand about yourself always. But, we've gone through some really hard shit. Like this 26,000 years has been rough. And, we've just, and anybody who thinks like the humans have gone backward is completely wrong. Humans are constantly going forward. They want to tell us that we are a certain way. They want to tell us that we're doing this and stuff, but they're lying. You don't see that around you. You're lying. They're lying. We can see people really are coming together. People aren't racist and people aren't hateful and all the stuff that they keep trying to say. Like they want us to be in that fighting our brother. I mean, they've got families torn apart. and that's a success to them. They want it to be like that. They don't want us to have unity. That's their worst nightmare, but, there's nothing that they can do anymore. But so throughout, all the way back, we have ancient family lines all the way back who have stayed in this very, I don't know, I kind of think it's incestuous kind of bloodline, and they see themselves as being better than us. Like, we're a food source to them. We're nothing. We're animals to them. We're below them. And they have, because of their power and their staying power, staying together and stuff like that, they were able to create a cabal of evilness that was able to go out and infiltrate all areas of the planet and keep growing and growing. This enterprise, it's corporate enterprise that they have used in the most recent years to take over. But there's always been something. They used religion for a long time to control the people and create art, create wars and stuff. And they still have them going. I mean, I know that they do that in the Middle East. Oh, hold on. In the Middle East, that is part of why I think they keep so much wars going all the time, is just to keep us away from that area. They don't want us to be able to go there and, get more to our roots, I mean, and that's where, communities started over there. Like, humans started forming civilization. And there's just so much stuff over there. But, right now, they've got so much power over us with corporate media, corporate big tech, corporate big pharma. All of this stuff is all an extension of them. So then, and then they're smart enough to know, like, well, if this gets out, then we'll just have this other group, our friends over there, they'll say that we're telling the truth because they're all linked together. So they give you this false impression that you can check accuracy about what they say, but that's pretend. You can't, because it's them fact-checking themselves. So you can't get to the truth, and you can have your internal, signals going off and saying something's not right, something's not right, something's not right, but not be able to find information to confirm anything, because the information is all being distorted because they are manipulating it. And all of this whole thing has been leading to their exposing their agenda of I think you can look up like Agenda 21 and stuff like that, but the globalist all one world agenda, and to reduce the population to 500 million people on the whole planet. And that's, the whole thing about this 2020 was just to create fear. It wasn't nothing, and there was never any real thing to fear. It was just to create fear, because they know how easy it is to turn it into a phobia in people's minds. They know how to manipulate the information to create desperation and fear. So that's what they did, so that they could inject chemicals into people. And, that's what they're doing, and they're caught. So, but all of this stuff, is all being exposed. They've got such technology. They've killed people to keep us from being able to save ourselves. There's just so much. There's so much evil involved with these people, and their disregard for human life. And but this world was made for humans, so they've committed crimes, and they're in trouble. and all of the human beings that got themselves involved by committing crimes themselves and didn't want to be exposed, got themselves tangled in and they got themselves in with the bad crowd. So, they're going down really, really horribly. I mean, it's death penalty. So, and it's not like, the kind of death penalty like where they keep these people in prison for 20 years on death row. No, this is death penalty like you finish court, you go out back, and that's it. It's the sealed deal. So, yeah, things are changing, and they're changing fast, and we can see it all around us. So just hold your faith, and just really, it's so important to just keep working on yourself. Be the change you want to see. Be the kind of person you want to deal with. That's us. They can't force us to do stuff anymore. We have free will. There's no excuses. So anyways, dog drama has begun. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.